It wasn't on a while ago.
All right.
So it's on now.
The linebackers tonight.
Again, welcome to Indian Stadium. You can see on our TV screen there, the captains are meeting in the present field at pregame coin toss. Aaron, what can you say? You know, we talked about the crowds in games past. I believe this is going to be the biggest crowd Plainview's had this season. Well, it's the biggest tonight. We mentioned last week how it's big in the
And the captains are meeting in the middle of the field at this time, and we're awaiting the coin toss as many of the Plainview Indian players are about out to the hash mark, and they're waiting the coin toss also. The Hilburn Frederick Bombers have not come onto the field yet. The Plainview Indians are tired in their red helmets and red suits, red shirts, red pants. The Frederick Bombers will be in their black pants and white with red trim on the jerseys and the red helmets. So we're just about to have the coin toss, and it looks like that the Frederick Bombers have won the toss and chosen to defer to the second half hours. We'll see what they do there.
I can read that exactly. Looks like the Bombers will kick off. I can see we're going to be watching
Frederick has just taken the field, and they had a pretty good pet line themselves coming out. They always have that noise of a car. Are you ready? Sunday night football. And now, your Plainview Indians.
Blake Bolton will be doing the kicking for the Frederick Bombers as he approaches the ball as it moved a little bit this game. There's Blake Bolton's kick. Left-footed kicker takes it right at the 1-yard line, and that will be Cook back up the middle, and he will be hit right at the 20-yard line. And they will spot it at the 21 as he's finally down, and that was good coverage by the Frederick defense. Fans are on across the way from us as all the seats are full. Standing room only in the Frederick side, standing room only in the Plainview Indian side. Some movement there, but don't see a flag, and he will go ahead for short yardage. And we will check that, bring up a second down and 9. And that was Faulkner giving 1 yard. The Plainview Indians come out in a power eye look. And there's the Seifert on the option, and he will go ahead out to the 24-yard line, and that will be for short yardage. And that was a power eye with Brian Seifert, who is the younger brother, I believe, of Brandon Seifert, who's not playing. So that will bring up our first third down situation. Faulkner in deep in the eye, and they take the handoff to Faulkner going down to the sideline, and it will be incomplete at the sideline. Pass was out there around the 30 yards and intended, I believe, for Beard, and that's incomplete. Billy Belcher will be doing the punting chores for the Indians. Back deep will be Ryan Ben, who had a big game last couple of weeks on punts, but this will go out of bounds around the 46-yard line. Where they Simmons in the slot to the left. Isham and Ben up close. Isham gets a break. He's to the 40 and almost broke that. We hesitated for just a second because it looked like he might break that down the sideline. Alan, if you notice, there's a new wrinkle if you notice how close the backs are to the line of scrimmage. It appeared that the Plainview Indians jumped, but there was no flag. And that will bring up a second, and after a short game, second. Gaston looking over the defense. Slot to the left, tight end to the right. Isham and Ben in the back behind Gaston. There's the handoff on the track play. As Isham will go ahead for short yardage, and it looks like they're going to key on him, and that will be good for about 1 yard, bring up the third down about 8. And Clarence Allen, as they go out to the left, and tight end to the right. It's Mitchell. Back to the backfield. Gaston goes down, has a man open, complete to Hilburn. It looks like around the 25-yard line. And indeed it is a first down. The first and 10 at the 26 in Plainview Indian territory. There is no score as the ball's handed off to Ryan Ben, and he struggles forward for a good gain over the left side. And he will go across the 20, and we'll see where they put this down. Looks like they're going to spot it just across the John Marlowe. We'll see if they keep doing that tonight. The block comes to the right side. Flag on the play. Looks like the play never happened as someone evidently jumped before the ball was snapped. And they are pointing toward Frederick, but we'll see what happens. Marshall and Allen to the right. Ben and Isham in the backfield. There's the handoff to Isham as he gets back a large part of that 5 yards that they lost in the penalty. Looks like they'll put it down right around the 27-yard line. Plainview has good size, good quickness in that defensive line. As we have a 3rd and 8, there's a draw to Ryan Ben, and he will be stopped short of the first down after a gain of about 3. And Coach Jones, it's 4th down and 6. Marshall and Faulkner come to the right side. Big 4th down play here early in the first quarter, no score. Gaston on the option play, and he will be stopped short of the first down. Gaston tried to run the option around the left, and the Plainview Indians will take over 6:22 in the first quarter, no score. They will take over as the Bombers goes up and assist, and that's number 39, Faulkner. And Faulkner will get a couple out of that as Plainview best defensive game. Probably win the ball.
Indians again now tonight.
Deep in the eye is Faulkner again. Hands off over the left side with some running room. And Faulkner goes ahead, but he will be stopped short of the first down. As he's made in there by Hughes, and that will bring up a 3rd down in about 2. And Plainview back is very good at trying to go outside and cut back any place they see the little play. So the pitch back to Faulkner, and he is going to be met and stopped short. The line of scrimmage as defensive secondary was up there very quickly for the Bombers, and that will bring them Belcher in on the 4th and 4. Bombers need to stay on side here. Snap's good. Belcher's kick is going to be held up by the wind, and it will come back right at the 50-yard line as it's down at the 49 in this first quarter with the clock running. There is no score, and we do not have enough time to take a commercial between these breaks here because this game is moving along, and the Indians have a couple of men jump, and don't understand why it took them so long to throw that flag. They had 3 men across.
I don't need it, Mike. We're definitely moving on that. This will probably go to any call they will make offside.
Coached by Eddie Paul, who grew up around the Walters area, and well known to a lot of Frederick people. And that will be 1st and 5 for the Bombers as they show for the first time the power I look. And there's a handoff straight up the middle to Blake Bolton as Bolton came in as in the fullback position on the power I, and that's going to be good enough for first down. And as the Bombers pick up a first down on the power I, they go back to the spear formation. Gaston rolling to his left, looking deep, now throws short, and it's complete at the 30-yard line, and that will be Greg Hilburn, who is there on Power I again, as Isham, the second man through on Power I, appears to have the first down. Kevin Isham good for about a 2-yard gain, and that will be a first down ball just inside the 30-yard line and quarter. This has been a very good ball game, dominated by defense up to this point. Bombers took over this drive on the 49. They're down to about the 26, 27-yard line. Trying to run the option and pull the ball back out, but the Plainview Indians have both Sidney and believe Isham there, so that will be a short game for about 1 yard. Very well coached, and they are ready for all the things that Frederick is doing tonight. That power eyes looks like to be the only thing that's kind of something. Good to the right. Gaston goes back to pass, throws on the fly pattern deep down the field. It will be incomplete as Gaston threw that ball where he had to. Edith was going to be caught at the incomplete, and it falls incomplete about the 5-yard line, and in reality needed. Marshall goes to the left. Clarence Allen comes to the right. Spear back for Isham and Ben. Gaston goes back to throw a quick pass, and it'll be incomplete as Sidney Gaston was under pressure and had to throw that ball about a second. Warming defense as the Bombers face another fourth down situation as they're down, and it's a draw play to Isham straight up the middle to the 20, to the 15, 10, 5, touchdown, Kevin Isham.
11 seconds before I go over the first quarter.
Bombers have still had success, even with all the linebackers stunning. They had success, and that's one of those situations, Alan. They don't make the tackle, you break a big play. William Martin is there to attempt to kick, and it is good. As William Martin's kick is good, the Bombers lead 7. What we had a minute, Bombers leading 7-0. And it will be a short onside kick as no one feels it, and the Frederick Bombers recover it. The Plainview Indians on the short onside just let the ball bounce up in the air, and the Frederick Bombers race down there and were able to cover the ball, and they will have it on the 25-yard line. Already underway, about to go here as the Bombers have it on their 35-yard line, 1st and 10. Still in the first quarter. There's Gaston on the option. He keeps the ball, goes around the left side, and will go forward for about 5 yards. As Gaston started the pitch, kept it, started the pitch, and then finally was dragged down from behind after a gain of about 4 or 5. In the closing minute of the first quarter, Gaston hands off to Ben up the middle, and Ben will go on the trap play ahead for about another 4 yards with 58 seconds to go in the first. And we believe Jake Carpenter was the one who came down and recovered that kick a minute ago. Gaston looking over the defense. Quick pitch over there. Quick pitch out to the right, and he is going to be met for a loss. And that will bring up a fourth down, and that shows you the quickness of the Plainview Indians as they drop right. No. Able to get this 1st and 10 to start the second quarter off. Marshall comes to the left. Gaston hands off straight up the middle, and it will be very close to a first down This will be one of those exactly where you spot it will determine what will happen.
And it is a first down.
Very close to the first down.
Bombers cross the 15 and be first and 10 around the 14-yard line. Allen comes out to the left. Gaston on the option play goes around the right side and will be stopped after about 4 or 5 yards. We'll see where they spot it. And the Plainview Indians are giving a lot of coverage to those pitchmen and options in the
That's twice that 2 or 3 Plainview Indians from John Cindy to pick up about 4.
and it will be 2nd and 6. The ball just outside the 10-yard line. Isham hands off, and he will get very close to the goal line. If it's handed off to Isham, he will be short of the goal line. It looks like it should be a first down. It is a first down as Kevin Isham went over the right guard. And Bombers need to get this in without any penalties. These have hurt us tremendously in this situation. The referee on the 1-yard line, and we'll have to watch the referees here because our vantage point is not very good from where we are to see if the Bombers can get in here on the 1. And they hand off to Isham, and it is a touchdown. As Isham was hit just as he received the ball, but the referee came running in and said that he crossed the plane, and the Bombers have a 13-0 lead here. And Rocket Isham strikes again on the touchdown, and William Martin trots onto the field as he will be attempting the kick. Jake Parker will be doing the holding. Brandon Phillips the long snapping. There's the snap. The kick is up. The Frederick Bombers say it's good. The referees agree. And Blake Bolton gets a high kick taken around the 5-yard line by Cook. He comes back up across the 20 and right on the 25-yard line looks like where he falls. And I'll tell you what, Alan, Blake Bolton took that kickoff trying to occasion here and help the Plainview Warriors go 3 and out. Seifert looking over the defense, man in motion as Cook comes to the right. Seifert goes back, rolling to his right. It's man open and he drops it. And there was number 40, Beard. He was wide open coming underneath, but he dropped the ball. And Beard tried to sneak under him. All is for naught. It will be a 2nd down and 10. Ball resting at the 25. Handoff to Faulkner, and he will be stopped right at the line of scrimmage and probably struggle about a foot forward to get just across the 25. It'll be a 3rd and 9. Maybe that's Johnson, Cheyenne Clark doing a good job filling those holes with the defensive line holding up the offensive line. Seifert goes back to pass. Halftime throws a deep pass down the middle, be intercepted by Hilburn at the 40, at the 45, at the 50, at the 45, across the far side, and he will be down right at the 41-yard line. Allen, that pass was 10 yards over the closest receiver. It's not a clip if the referee doesn't call. We found that out the hard way. It's 14-0, 9-18 as the Bombers have another opportunity on the 40-yard line in Indian territory. Hand off to Isham. There is a flag on the play. And Isham went ahead for 5 yards, but that play will be brought back because the Bombers were in motion. Didn't see who was in motion, but the flag flew immediately. Those are hustle penalties as they're trying to get off the ball very quickly. As we said, the Plainview defense is swarming, and but it sure makes it hard because now the ball's moved back to 45 and it's 1st and 15. Frederick Bombers in a power eye look as Bolton comes in, and there's some movement again as there is no play, and it looked like that one of the backs in the power eye might have moved in.
Looked to me like he was after 2 5-yard hits.
Bombers have moved themselves out of Plainview territory into Frederick territory now. The ball resting at the 49-yard line. Referee calls timeout and a couple of Kevin Isham runs. Clarence Allen comes to the left as the Bombers break the huddle. Gaston looking over the defense. Gaston throws a quick pass out there to the right, and it will be good for about 7 yards. Pick up who that was to, Alan?
Mike, I couldn't see traffic on the other side.
Looks like it is Marshall as he goes ahead for pick up 8 of that 20 that 10 of it they earned on penalty yardage. So Carpenter comes to the left. Gaston looks over to defense. Throws across the middle, and that will be complete to Mitchell as Mitchell crossed the 35-yard line, and he was hit immediately as like a sandwich, and I don't know how he held on to the ball, but he did. It's
Not good effort there by John Mitchell. He gets
to get across the 31-yard line, and a very big play as they've already been able to pick up about 16. And Allen comes to the left, handoff up the middle to Icahn. He will be stopped very close to the first down. Looks like it might be short. We'll wait and see where they spot it.
I'm going to guess probably a yard and a half first down.
Looks like that's about the 32, somewhere between the 31 and 32, Allen. Need a yard. Look for the Plainview Indians to stun everyone up the middle, and we'll see what the Bombers do. They need to pick up a yard, 4th and 1, and get down around the 30-yard line. Ryan Benz springs into the open, goes to the outside. He's to the 20, he's 25, 10, 5, touchdown! As the Plainview Indians gambled, and they lost big.
That's exactly what they've done all year long and worked on everybody. They
play and handed off to Ryan Ben, and he races 31 yards for the touchdown as the Bombers are ahead 20-0 with William Martin on to do the kick. Martin, his kick is blocked as number 24 Cook came through, and we watched him on film make some big plays.
You can bet that Plainview, even though they're down 20 points, they haven't conceded the ball game yet. They're going to come back by.
6:51 in the left to go in the second quarter. Bombers leading 20-0. If you just joined us, Blake Bolton about to kick off from his 40 down to the east. It will be a high short kick, and it will bounce again and covered right at the 20-yard line as the short men, rather than catching the ball, let it bounce again, and the ball will be blown dead at the 20-yard line. Soppert's still in at quarterback for the Plainview Indians. Man comes in motion to the left. Seifert goes back, rolls out back to his left, and he will be sacked in the backfield. And it's Derek Miller, Allen, who's back there to sack Mr. Seifert.
Michael Derek Miller, number 70, one of the smallest men Frederick has on the line, but however, he is probably up pretty quick.
They're trying to get something going here with 6 minutes left to go in the second half, in the first half, second quarter. Seifert goes on the option to the left, and he finds a little running room around the left side, and is met by a host of Bombers after he gains about 4.
Tell you what, Michael, excellent coverage by the Bombers defense. There was about 4 or 5 shirts there. I told him that was the same thing at the first. That's not right, you're correct.
It's 3rd and 8 for Seifert as he goes back to pass. It will be a jarring tackle, but the young man, and it's hurt again as he catches it. Hilburn came up, and I cannot believe he held on. Fantastic catch by the receiver, and I believe that's Beard, but I...
This is the worst place to go. I don't know. I mean, we've been to a bunch of places that are real nice.
Young man, that's Mike, but it was good for the first down, and the Plainview Warriors have a first down ball just across their own 36. Seifert pitches back to Faulkner. Faulkner comes over the left side, and he will go for short yardage around 2 or 3 as he negotiates the left side, and he'll bring up the second and 6. Seifert goes back around his left side, throws across the middle, complete, and that will be to Cook. They have tried to find him all night, and he will go down to about the 48-yard line, and he'll be good enough for a first down. Very good pass by Seifert then. Derek Miller in at defense now to try to get a little rush on Mr. Seifert. Cypher goes deep again, throws across the middle. It will be incomplete as it was not catchable by anyone. It was way over the head of the intended receiver, and I believe that was number 6. I believe when everything's said and done, that's probably going to be Gillum who brings up a 2nd and 10. There's a reverse as it will be stuffed in the backfield. Reverse to Beard, who just came back into the ball game, and he was trying to come from his right end slot and go around the left, and he will be stopped deep after about a 6-yard loss. But William Martin there, they're all doing a good job on the defensive line, and their official timeout as they're looking at one of the Bombers' equipment. I believe that's Woodall. Looks like it might be maybe a helmet snap or something like that, and it will bring up a 3rd and 14. Looks like they've got the helmet fixed for Mr. Woodall, I believe it is, and they're ready to go. 3rd and 14. Ball just around the 44-yard line, Indian territory. Cypher goes back to pass, throws down the middle. It will be intercepted, no, incomplete, as it was intended for Cook. And that's a play where the Indians try to throw that up and in, let Cook run under it, but Mr. Hilburn was right there, and he almost made a circus interception.
He came down at the ground off the heart, just couldn't get a handle on it. Plainview back to kick.
4th and 14 as Belcher is there to punt. Gets off a good punt. It will go, looks like it's going to go out of bounds, taken by Blake Bolton at about the 15 or 20-yard line. Hesitate for a minute, and there is a flag on the play. But Bolton acted like he was going to let it just roll dead, and then he picked it up.
Right, Beard probably going to have to say it was either holding maybe a flip on the play, and took a long time to develop. He let everybody think he was going to let it roll dead. Grabs the ball, takes off, makes an excellent run back, but however, even the penalty looks like we're going to back it.
And probably one of those situations where the Bombers had relaxed for a minute, and then when he picked the ball up, one of them turned and to block someone and hit someone in the back. And looks like it will be an illegal block or clipping penalty, as the Bombers will be back in very poor field position for one of the first times this evening. Bombers need to get out of the shadow of their end zone. They're leading 20-0, 3-10 and running. As Gaston looks over the defense, and that's handoff to Isham as Gaston tried to pull the ball back out, but he was met by the entire right defensive side, and it will go for about a yard or 2 yards. And it will bring a 2nd and 12. The Bombers need to get out of this hole with 2:30 in the first half. Hand off to Ben, and he gets a little running room as he crosses his 10 and across the 15 and gets down to the 16-yard line. It looks for a minute we might have a repeat as he just had a couple. Bombers need to try to pick up this third down situation so they can control this ball and not have to punt. Gaston goes back. He's under pressure. Now he breaks over the right side, and he will be sacked right at the line of scrimmage as he was trying to throw a deep pattern. Came under pressure, had to bring the ball down, and gains about a foot, and let's bring up a 4th. And we watched in the film. They're very good, very quick about blocking as they did on that extra point. Let's see what happens.
They are a good football team. Be off to an undefeated football. We're going to punt the ball here.
And Ryan Ben fakes it. He's got the first down. He's holding on to the ball. He's at the 45, at the 50, at the 45, 40, 35, 20, 15, 10, 5. Touchdown. I do not see any flags. 83 yards on the fake punt. And we don't know if Ryan Ben read that or it went on his own or that was a called play. But talk about taking the air out of the sails of the Indians. There are no flags. He goes 83 yards on a fake punt all the away from the shadow of his own end zone, and the Bombers take a 26-0 lead. 1:02 left to go in the first half.
I tell you what, that
6-0, and they've talked it over, trying to decide where to go for 1 or 2, and they decide to go for 2. Still some confusion as it doesn't appear that they have enough players in the lineup. Now here comes one more player, and we're just one running back short. Ben goes in motion as Gaston comes around to his left side, throws across the middle, and it will be complete as Clarence Allen. And now they say it's incomplete as they say he dropped the ball, I believe, or didn't cross the plane. I'm not sure which one.
I can see that here. Many players, they hit the touchdown signal, then the ref from the other side comes in and waves it off. And it is good.
And now they say it is good. So the referees had to huddle, and I didn't really understand what was happening because he caught the ball in the end zone and then laid the ball down, and it may have been the official thought he fumbled it, but he caught it in the end zone, and then he laid the ball down, and they do from the extra point, other than evidently one of the officials was confused. The rest of them got him straightened out. Whatever happened, the Bombers get the 2 points. They lead 28-0 as Blake Bolton is about to kick off, and he sends a towering kick, and it will be taken at the goal line. And it will be Cook, and he will be hit right at the 20 or 21, and downed immediately as the Bombers rush down. And I've never seen Blake Bolton kick any better than he's doing right now.
Well, I tell you what, Mike.
He's playing a heck of a game tonight. Cypher comes out less than a minute, 40 seconds to be exact, as a handoff up the middle, and that will be to Faulkner, and he will be stopped very short.
Well, I tell you what, Mike, I'm very impressed with the defense. They're hustling, they're fighting off their blocks, they're doing everything
that plays on their side of the offensive ball. And that will be the first half as the Bombers are leading this contest 28-0. Why don't you go 4 minutes? A lot of good luck about letting Plainview punt to them, and Frederick Bombers had excellent defense the entire first half.
That's exactly right, Mike, but you can almost be assured that a team the quality of this Plainview Indian team, they've gone in at halftime, and I'm sure their coach has commented about several different things that they've done tonight, and I'm going to look for them to come back out and try to get back in this ball game.
Wilkinson and Owen there walking out for the Plainview Indians, and Cheyenne Clark is representing the Bombers as they meet at the half on the 50-yard line in the middle of the field for the second half decision. And as we said at the first, Bombers won the toss and they deferred until the second half, and we'll see where they choose to kick off or receive here. About 2 minutes left to go before kickoff, and the Bombers will receive, and they will be defending the East Go. Let's take a minute timeout. You're listening to KYB 95.
We're going to have to keep up their intensity, keep playing hard, not let Plainview have any game, and we'll continue with the kind of play offensively and defensively that they have shown in the first half. They all come out in good shape.
Belcher will be teeing the ball up for the Plainview Indians, and he also looks like he may try to do a deep onside kick as Bombers kind of moving up now to try to field that. This could be onside or a deep onside, as Plainview Indians feel like they need to take a lot of chances to get back in this ball game with the Bombers leading 28-0, and we're ready with the kickoff. And Belcher will do a short deep onside, and that will be taken by Simmons at about the 35, and he will go out, taking about the 30, and he will cross the 35 and be out of bounds around the 36-yard line.
Once again, the Bombers take over with excellent field
in the first half as they're leading 28-0, but that 20-point differential is still a very big factor in this district. Gaston still in the quarterback. Two receivers to right, hand off the bend, going around the left side, crosses the 45, crosses the 40, and then gets down to about the 42-yard line as he's nudged out of bounds.
That's something that we've not done all night.
Into the crowd, and they get just about as excited here to receive one of those as they do in Frederick. The 2nd and 4. Gaston looks over the defense. Comes on the option to the right, pitches to Isham as he struggles back to the line of scrimmage, and that was the option play that looked like he was going to be stopped in the backfield and hit to the last second, and Isham forced it. Marshall comes out to the right as we have a 3rd and 2. The Bombers need to get to about the 48-yard line, and it will depend where they spot it. Looks like they've spotted it, and it would be good for the first down. We'll wait and see officially, and they say it is enough for the first down. I believe Marshall goes out to the left. Carpenter is to this side. To the right is we are on the north side of the field. Tight end also to the right, and one of the Plainview Indians jumps, and that's the man that has been. There is no flag, and the referee says he didn't cross the plane. Looked pretty close down. Ball just across the 50-yard line. This is the first drive as Gaston goes back across the middle, and it will be pass interference, I'm sure. And we didn't see the flag for a while, but Mitchell was down to around the 38-yard line, and the defender was on his back, and it was pass interference all the way.
I'll tell you what, Mike, I just about ready to see what's going to happen, and you don't see the intensity, you don't see the emotion of the Plainview Indians that they show. Jump out and get this ball back.
And Carpenter comes to the right, and Allen is to the left as Gaston turns around and checks with Isham on the play, and it will be a 1st and 10 ball at the 35, just across the 35 to the 34. There's a handoff to Isham. He breaks across the 30 down to the 25, very close to the 25-yard line, and that was the option of the left side as Gaston actually tried to pull the ball out. Kevin spun all the way around, and he was able to go forward for about 11 yards in the first half. And the Bombers go into the power I set again. They will have 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. Tight end to the right. Hand off to the first man, and that's Ben up the middle, and he gets a good yardage down to around the 10 or 11-yard line. Give him a gain, determining where they spotted around 8 yards. And good running room out of the halfback position, or excuse me, the fullback position of the IN. Is able to get about 9. He'll be 2nd and short.
They want my crowd collapse and just see it. I mean, it's real obvious that the Plainview defense is not pursuit of the ball. They're not moving with the quickness. Don't even look like the same team they did in the first half.
And here is the inverted bone that Coach Jones says. Some movement on the line, and it appeared that possibly the linebackers were coming in, and they may have jumped, but we'll wait and read that. As the Bombers are moving back, they say no, the Bombers jumped. Evidently, when one of those linebackers came up, one of the offensive linemen close. And we'll bring the ball back to the 16-yard line. The Bombers need to get down to the 10 to be able to post this first down. Gaston goes back to pass, throws, and it is complete at the 5-yard line, down inside the 5, and it will be a first down for the Frederick Bombers, and I believe that's Mitchell as he was able to sneak out underneath the wide receiver, and that will be a first down just across coverage.
Sidney finds him, throws him the ball, he tucks it away, ducks his shoulder, and takes it down inside the 5. Good run.
And the inverted bone again as Gaston looks, hands off to the second man through. That's Isham. And the Plainview Indians had that diagnosis. Everyone slanted toward the middle, and he will get just back to the line of scrimmage. And as they spot it, they might even be a little bit lost. Very, very close.
Just made him have everything they had, no gain.
and long forward to get into the end zone as Gaston looking over the defense. And to the first man trying on the option, and he fumbles the ball on the option. And that's the break that the Indians needed, and Bombers needed to get the ball in there. And that ball was on, and it will be about the 1 yard line. And if the Bombers can get some penetration, they might be able to get a safety here. Hand off to the first man through, and he will get just a little bit of yardage. Let's give him the yard as he is stacked up in the middle, and that will bring up a second down and about 9. Very quickly. Down here as the Bomber defense has been very, very tough here. 6:50 left to go in the third quarter. Bombers leading 28. Seifert hands off again right up the middle as the Indians are trying to get a little running room, and he will go for short yardage. Probably another yard, bring up a third and a long 8. The 2 receivers out to the left. Faulkner, the I-back. 3rd and 8. Hand off. There's the option play coming on outside. There's some running room with Seifert. There's a flip. No flag, and he will have a first down. As Seifert runs the option around the left side, and he goes all the way past the 20, across the 25, down to the 27-yard line. And Faulkner is the deep I-back. Seifert comes out to his right, and he will pass the Beard, and Beard will be down about 5 or 6 yards as Beard struggles forward. It will be a 2nd and 6. The ball about the 40-yard line, 42-yard line. Seifert brings the ball down, running himself, and he will be very close to the first down. As Seifert went back to pass, took the ball under his shoulder, and was finally taken down by Clay Johnson and several others. So the Plainview Indians will be at their 39-yard line, 1st and 10. Seifert still the quarterback as they go into their own version of power I, and they hand off to the fullback up the middle. That's, I believe that's Matt Jensen, and he goes straight ahead for about a gain of a yard, bring up a 2nd and 9. 28-0. The Plainview Indians took a fumble on their 1-yard line and have moved across the 40 to the 41-yard line. Seifert on the option play back to the right, and he will be tackled by, I believe that's number 5, Millard Parks. As Parks comes in and takes the quarterback after he gained about 4 yards and brings up a 3rd and 5, or a long 3rd down play here. Faulkner in the backfield as the I-back. Here comes the option left. Seifert taking himself, and he will be stopped very close to the first down marker as Clay Johnson was out there, and there was he was never going to pitch the ball. He put that thing under his arm and tried to pick up the first down. It will be very close. They may have to measure this. It's almost standing, almost ball sitting almost directly across from me. Looks like they're probably they don't have any choice but to go for it, but we'll see if it is indeed short. As they stretch the chain, it will be about a foot short, and it will bring up a 4th down and a foot. The ball around the 48-yard line, and they will have to pick up the 48-yard line and a foot to be able to have another first down. Big play here. 3:22, 4th and a foot. As the officials get the chain set across the way there. Ball resting about the 48-yard line, and it's going to be very, very close, and we'll just see where they, it looks like we got a very good spot there, Alan. Jesse runs in very quickly. It looks like he is going to make the first down, just pop out, maybe the length of the They're going to measure again. Well, it's going to be very close, but it's either...
He did grind it out, trying to make that first down, and it is close.
And they put it down, and it will be goodbye to strike. The ball's resting still around just across the 48-yard line. 1st and 10. There's 3 minutes left to go in this first quarter. Bombers leading 28-0. There's a pass that's incomplete, intended for Cook. And it is almost intercepted as the ball went past Cook, and the 2nd and 10 for the Plainview Indians. They need to go down to the 41 in Bomber territory. Here comes Seifert on the option again, and the Bombers diagnosed at this time as that's Dusty Blankenship and Clay Johnson, and they come in a hurry and stop Seifert for playing a good job at defensive end or cornerback there. Seifert goes back pass, passing time. Now he's going to keep it. Now he throws it, and it's incomplete, knocked down by one of the Frederick Bombers, and that was Clay Johnson that dove for it and had it in his hands for the second, but he really didn't have to.
He looked to me like from here he was very, very close to being across the line, and very soon he decided to shoot the ball. Clay Johnson was supposed to stand up there and knock it down.
And Belcher on the punt, and it is a good punt as fair catch is called. And Bolton calls a fair catch and then fumbles the ball and then picks it up. And might be one of those situations where he shouldn't have fielded inside the 10, but he will be down around the 2-yard line, and Bombers have very poor field position. Indians will be coming here trying to keep the Bombers 10, and it's 1st and 10. The Bombers having started around their own 2-yard line. Motion goes to the left, handoff up the middle, and that will be handoff to Kevin Isham, and he goes straight ahead and is hit hard immediately at the line of scrimmage, but he will be able to squeeze out after about a 2.5 or 3-yard gain. 0, and they move the ball out around the 5-yard line, need about 6 yards to go for first down. Gasson looking over the defense, hands off up the middle again, and that will be Isham again going over the left side, and he will cross the 10-yard line, and they will put it, in fact, they'll put it right on the 10-yard line, and that will bring up a third.
Frederick's kind of in the hole here, and they're trying their darndest to keep on making first down.
And the Indians gambling here, trying to keep the Bombers 10 deep. There's a handoff to Ryan Ben, and he will be stopped short of the first down as he's able to get back to the 10-yard line and cross it briefly. And he will bring up a punting situation, 4th and about 3 for the Frederick Bombers.
That's exactly what we'll have to do. The Bombers got to come here in the second half. Bombers maintain pretty good field position for most of the back. This second half seems like he's running out of
And the Bombers will try to punt out the end zone. Last time they punted, Ryan Ben went 83 yards. We'll assume he'll try to punt here in his own end zone. The snap is good. Ben gets off the punt. It is a very good punt. Goes to the fifth, taken at the 49-yard line, and number 24, I believe, is hit immediately about the 46-yard line, and that's Wood, as Wood is able to get to the 46, and he's taken up. Very, very good tackle and coverage by the Frederick Bombers after a 50-yard punt.
Johnson, good coverage on
KYB 95.9 have excellent field position as Seifert looks over the defense. Seifert goes back, rolling to his right. Under pressure, will throw. It will be incomplete at the 40-yard line, intended for Beard, as Seifert was under pretty good severe pressure in there by William Martin come out to the right side. As Seifert looks over the defense, high formation for the Indians, and they will hand off back to number 30, and he will go across the 40-yard line, and that is Jason McCaslin, who was able to go ahead for the Plainview Indians, and he was turn here, and the difference in the ball club, the Bombers don't seem to be playing quite like their teams did earlier. Well, as the wind died, the Bombers have kind of been deflated a little bit. Handoff up the middle to number 47, and that's Matt Studman, and it appears that he will have a first down as he needed to get across or put very close to the 35, and he accomplishes that task, and it will be a 1st and 10 for the Indians. Be a good time for an interception, Alan. Be a real good time for an interception. The official timeout as he is getting ready. It's going to be a 1st and 10 ball just across the 35-yard line. And Faulkner back of the eye. Cypher goes on the option, and he is met immediately by Wiley. We'll see who else gets up there. Clay Johnson and Derek Miller, I believe, along with Chad Stone, and they just made a second 35. In fact, just a couple of inches lost there. Cypher looks over the defense, goes back to pass, coming around his right side, throws, almost intercepted by Clay Johnson as he goes through his hands, and they were trying to hit Ryan Cook as he curled inside, and Johnson was able to break it up, bring up where the tight end's trying to drag across the middle as Plainview in a power eye look. They run a little cross back to the opposite side, and he will be downed after a gain of about 2 yards. And that was a little reverse back to Woods as 10-14 left to go in the 4th quarter. Look for Mr. Woods out there, and look for Beers going across the middle. As Cypher goes back to pass, around his left side, throws across the middle, and it would be good to Beard. As Beard drags the middle again, and he will cross the 25 down to the 23 and pick up the 1st down. The Plainview Indians will have a 1st down at the Bombers' 23. I look for the Indians. Cypher goes back to pass, under a little pressure, throws complete, and it is incomplete. We say complete as Beard had it in his hands, and then it went through his hands and will fall incomplete down to about the 10. Thought that Beard had it again that time. It will be a 2nd and 10, following about the 23-yard line as they hand off up the middle. And it's open to the 10, to the 5. We'll see where they caught it. Good enough for the 1st down as the Indians on a handoff over the left side. It looks like they're going to put it down around the 7-yard line. And it will be a first and 10 for the Indians as the 1st and go at the 7. There's a handoff to Faulkner again coming around the right side, and he will be stopped short behind the line of scrimmage as there was good pursuit this time as Hilburn came up along with Blankenship, Isham, and we'll call him and we'll see if they look for Beard again as Wood goes in motion. Cypher on the line of town goes looking for Beard. He has a lot of time, now is going to throw, and it will be touchdown to Woods as he was open there for a long time, and then Cypher didn't see him, and then finally was able, actually I think he intended, and went over the first to see his hand and was good to Woods, but that will go for a touchdown for the Plainview Indians. Belcher comes on to attempt the extra point. Snap is down, and the kick is up, and it is good. And it's now a 28-7 ball game. 8:30 left to go in the 4th quarter. Do a good job in keeping field position and scoring.
Very impressive drive in by the Plainview. They wouldn't have had the season they've had this year. They had a very impressive drive to go down and score. They are a good team.
Well, we see an onside kick, Billy Beecher.
You'll see some more of them.
There's the onside kick, and it's touched by one of the Plainview. It didn't appear that it went 10 yards before it was touched by one of the Plainview players. The Plainview Indians have it as it to be touched by the Plainview kicker before it went 10 yards, but nevertheless, Plainview Indians has the ball. Plainview Indians get away with that one as the ball was touched prior to 10 yards, but nevertheless they have it on the 50-yard line, hand off to Faulkner up the middle, and that may be what it takes to fire the Bombers back up, Alan. Again, Cypress goes back to pass, under some pressure, throws down deep, and it will be complete to the 41-yard line, and that will be about a yard short of the first down as Clay Johnson tried to two receivers left, I formation, and Cypress goes back, hands off to Faulkner around the left side with some running room. He will gain about 4 and will pick up the first down, be a first and 10 as he crosses his 40 and gets down about the 36-yard line. 6:59 left in the game. Bombers leading 28-7. Plainview moving. Cypress goes out, rolling to the right. Now throws deep, and it will be incomplete. As Wood was covered and the ball went over, wasn't sure which one he was going to. If he was going to Beard or going to. And if they hold through here, we'll see if they try to draw or something. There's the option play to Cypress. He has some good running room. Fumble on the ball, fumble on the play, but the ball was already blown dead, and that will bring a gain of about 3 or 4 and bring up a third, and we'll see Alan, Plainview Indians in pull down territory here. Cypress rolls around to his left, throws the pass, it's complete to number 24, and he goes all the way down to about the 6-yard line, and that was Cook again, one of their big receivers, as he took it around the 12, 13-yard line and was able to get down around the 7.
The secondary
So it brings up a first and go, ball resting around the 7 as the Indians try to get back for another touchdown and then possibly go. Hand it off to Faulkner, I believe, again, and Faulkner will get very little yardage. Let's call it 1, as it looks like the referee will. Cypress looks over the defense of the Frederick Bombers. Ball resting on 6, one of the so that has been one of the rare mistakes the Indians have made in this second half, as they have come out fired up and go Cook again this time. Cypress looks over the defense. Faulkner deep in the eye, motion comes to the right, and that's Cook as he comes to the right. They throw across the middle, and it's incomplete, almost intercepted as, again, the linebacker, and I believe that's probably Clay Johnson, had a chance to intercept, but he's disgusted with himself. And clock, 5 minutes and 2 seconds. Bombers leading 28-7. Wind picking up now a little bit more as the ball's resting on the 9. Cypress goes to his right to pass. Now keeps the ball. Now is about to pass. It's across the inside. It will be incomplete as Cypress stopped and decided to run, decided to run, and then he tried to find one of his receivers in the middle of the end zone, and the Bombers are able to jump in front of the ball and knock it down. We'll bring up the 4th and 9. We didn't get the number, and I apologize to that young man. You'll be able to see that on the cable in the morning. I tell you what, folks, as Cypress was under a lot of pressure, we're having to look at about 20 different people, 22 different people, as big 4th down play, 4th and go to go from the 9 as Cypress takes a snap, and that's Cook going, look for Cook. Cypress goes up the middle, and he will be knocked short of the end zone. On the 4th down play, they had to go all the way into the end zone, and Cypress ran a quarterback draw up the middle, and he will be knocked short. The Bombers have held. And that will be at the 5-yard line.
He gets up, but he is looking. I'll tell you what, he paid early into that run. Position is not important nearly as containing the ball, managing it, taking the ball up.
4:30 on the clock as they go straight ahead again, and for short yardage, as the Bombers trying to control the ball. They can't do anything down there risky, Allen, or risk a fumble, as the ball's still resting right. As Gaston looks over, 2nd and 10 from the 5. Handoff up the middle again, and this will go forward for about 3 or 4 yards with the Bombers working deep in their own territory with 3:44 and counting left to go in this ball game. They're leading 28-7. Allen, that 20-point difference.
They need to try to convert this first down.
3rd and about 7, or long 6. There's the option play as they hand off to Ben, and they're going to say that we think they're going to say he was down, and they do indeed, as the first man through was Ben, and they handed off to him, and he was able to get close to whether or not their lines are straight, but if it is a first down, it's going to be a big one for Bob.
They want to throw Michael, he just like the other Plainview may want to go with it.
And when we say inches short, we're talking about a micrometer in there as 15-yard line. And Allen, here we go from the 15-yard line. There's 3 minutes to go in the ball game. Bombers are going for it on their own 15. Gaston looking at the handoff. It's a handoff across the 15, and it will be good for the first down. As the Bombers started at the 5, they had to get to the 15, and indeed it is good for the first to, with the help of the offensive line, able to get about a yard, squeeze out a yard, and get that first down. Gaston looking over the defense. There's a flag, and that could be delay a game as, or maybe someone in the backfield moved, because the official all the way, the deep official was the one who threw that, and that's going to be a costly first down penalty. As the Bombers move back now to the 10-yard line. Gaston hands off up the middle to Ben, and he will cross the 10-yard line and get very close back to the 15 to make up that 5-yard penalty as the clock continues to run. And there's 2 very, very good crowds. The stands full on the far side, stands full here on Plainview side. Hand off to Kevin Osham across the 25, at the 30, at the 40, at the 50, at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, at the 10, 5, touchdown, Rocket Osham. 1:33 left to go in the game.
I'll tell you what, Mike, he couldn't have come at a better time. That's exactly what we needed. Plainview kind of had the momentum going with them, but if that won't take it away from them, nothing will.
And that was one of the situations where Plainview gambled. And William Martin comes on to the field, and you can, as you heard that being announced, we had 3 radio announcers counting off the yard mark, so hopefully one of us got them right. And extra point is good as William Martin adds it, and that will be up a 35-7 score with 1:33 left to go in the ball game. That was a big, big play, Alan.
Mike,
mark again this week. So 1:33 left in the ball game as Blake Bolton and a lot of new faces in on the kickoff team. Blake Bolton is still kicking, and we'll see if he chooses to go the deep onside again or try to boom one into the end zone. And he sends it deep, and it will be taken around the 5-yard line. As Cook comes up, Cook has some running room and gets back to the 20, over across the 25, and he will be close to the 30. Let's cross the 29-yard line, and that's where the Indians will start. 1st and 10 at their own 29-yard line with 1:27.
Eric Rivas on